Shabbat Shalom, Rabbi Rachel Zerin here with a thought for Shabbat. This week we read the action-packed Parashat Vaera, continuing our people's saga of enslavement in Egypt, Moses' negotiations with Pharaoh to let our people go, and the first several of the 10 plagues when Pharaoh refuses to heed Moses' call. But I don't want to talk about any of that today. What I want to focus on looks ahead several weeks to Parashat Bishalach, that moment when our people finally cross into freedom, when they cross the Sea of Reeds and step foot on the other side, when Pharaoh and his people can no longer pursue us, when we finally step foot into freedom. And how do we mark that freedom? With song. By singing the Song of the Sea, that same song that we read from the Torah every year, that song that we find in Parashat Bishalach, but which gives the Shabbat we will celebrate in 2 weeks the name of Shabbat Shirah, the Shabbat of song. We will be marking Shabbat Shirah in several special ways here at Bethel. You can see more details in your emails to come. But truly, we mark every Shabbat with song, and I think there is a reason why. When I think about how I often enter Shabbat, really it comes down to one of 2 ways, which at first seem like opposites, but really I think both get at the true meaning of Shabbat. There are those weeks when I enter Shabbat with that frantic pressure of trying to get everything done. Check off all the things on the to-do list, make sure dinner is cooked, the table is set, the house is somewhat clean, the Divrei Torah are written, everything is prepared, and when I finally get to Shabbat, entering Shabbat is like finally exhaling after a busy week. There are other weeks that might be less frantic, when the weight of the world does not feel like quite so much, when entering Shabbat does not feel like that big exhale, but rather almost feels like an inhale. The excitement and the joy, the smell of the challah, the eagerness of reconnecting with friends, with community, with prayer, with the divine. It's like I could just jump right in and burst with joy. And I think that Shabbat is really about both of those experiences. It is about exhaling into rest and relaxation, and it is about the joy of reconnecting, of rejuvenating, of celebrating all of the wonderful world around us. There are times when we need the exhale more, and there are times when we need the joy more. And song can fulfill both of those purposes. I'm sure we've all had the experience of listening to music that makes us want to just jump up and dance, and listening to music that feels like that big exhale, like that wash of relief over our souls. The music in our prayers can do the same thing. Perhaps that is why the first psalm in our Kabbalat Shabbat service is L'chu nuranana ladonai, let us sing to the Lord, because song can help us access all of those feelings. I want to share with you what might be a new melody for you. It's a melody by the Israeli group Nava Tehillah, a melody that I think can access both of those feelings as well, depending on whether you sing it slowly or more upbeat. If you want to follow along at home, it's on page 254 in your Siddur, just those first 2 lines. And it goes like this. Lechu neranana ladonai, naria letzor yisheinu. It repeats, so you can sing that line with me now. Lechu neranana ladonai, naria letzor yisheinu. Now the second line. Nekadma fanav betoda, bizmirot naria lo. And that line repeats too. Nekadma fanav v'toda bizmirot narialo. One more time. Lechu naranana l'Adonai. Naria letzor yishenu. Lechu naranana l'Adonai. Naria letzor yishenu. Nekadma fanav betoda bizmirot narialo. Nekadma fanav betoda bizmirot narialo. Whether this week you need that exhale and release, or that inhale and that bounding joy of Shabbat, I hope you find what you need in this day of rest, and perhaps that song can help you get there. Shabbat Shalom.